what I usually plan. So few years back, I didn't know anything about AWS. I started, interestingly, when I started using AWS, the first service I learned was Lambda. It was released just a few months back. Started using in 2015, early 2015 for a startup. Now, from the certification point of view, I didn't prepare or I didn't start for the certification until 2018 start, because I run my own company. And the good thing is, if you have this certification, it helps to instill the faith in the customer. So I saw that as an advantage, whether I am an employee of some place or I am running my own company, because in that case also I'm providing services. So to showcase to my clients that I know what I'm telling, these certifications, which is authorized from the AWS, it makes, really helps. So when I looked at that time, it was only 9, and then they started adding more. Now it's kind of mini university in itself. So I planned the similar fashion, with a very basic, the associate level first. I already had, before I started certification, I already had a fairly good amount of hands-on experience, and that's a key. Hands-on experience, whether you are doing your first certification or whether you are doing the last one, hands-on experience really helps, because you can see things, even though going to the documentation, and I tell you, documentation of AWS was horrible. Now it is improving. Few years back it is horrible. I mean, it takes hours and hours, and that's why there were so many video courses. The Linux Academy was very popular back in those days. A Cloud Guru was fairly new. Udemy also had a lot of courses, but not very kind of very good like Stephen Marek and Andrew are doing now. So if you align so what I used to do is, from time to time, because I run the company, I get a chance to work on a lot of solutions, right? So from time to time, I align myself that what kind of project that we are doing, and see the closest certification to that. So I started with the solution architect, and then the developer, because I still code. I passed out. I did my master's back in 2006, so that's 15 long years. But I still code. I like to code. So the next one I target immediately was a developer one, and it was, again, I found it really simple because I was doing the coding. So if you're doing something actively, you will find the certifications already. You will find it really enjoyable. You will learn new things, and you will enjoy the time that you are spending. You will not find it very stressful. If you are doing it, building many applications onto AWS and other places with the help of customers, designing, deploying new solutions, you will acquire those skills. And cloud is growing. I mean, AWS now has 200 plus services, and they will have more. Pre-invent is starting. So now we'll see a huge number of features and the services as well. Manoj knows it better than me. So I aligned my work and I prepared for that particular certification. So for the associate, fine, it's doable. For the pro, the biggest part is the questions and the answers. They are really lengthy. So if you have really spent time onto some of the key AWS services, in every certification you'll realize that some services are taking the 60-65% of the weightage, and the other services are taking the 30-40 weightage. So if you are focusing on to those 65% of the services, if you have really worked on it, whether it's a database, whether it's a streaming, whether it's a serverless part, just a DevOps part, you will find it really comfortable in reading through those questions and answers, even though they are lengthy and large in size. You will still know that what exactly is right, or you will differentiate between the right and the wrong answer. So align your work with the certification. You don't need to do all 12. Even I didn't want to do all 12, but I found it kind of interesting. I learned new things. So this is another motivation for me. So every time I sit for a preparation of a certification, I uncover new services. That helps me learn new things. And in a way, I can use or I can showcase my skill to my clients. So that way we are adding more skill set and we are getting to work on those kind of a solution. But it doesn't mean that all those services I have worked prior to giving certification. But yes, certification helped me to learn those services in the fundamental newer ways. That added as a motivation. So one after another I gave. The specialty one, the really complicated one was networking, which is still a very hardest one. Advanced networking is the hardest one. other than that, I couldn't find any survey, any certification which was that difficult. But luckily, I started programming when there were real servers. So my first job had real servers just like few feet away from me. So I knew a little bit related to networking. And around the same time, I had another project in which I had to just implement the full networking, VPN, and all those things inside the AWS, which helped, right? So that kind of gives you the trust that if you are really working on certain services, you can actually crack this one. So likewise, I moved from one to another. It took me less than 2 years to complete all, but I didn't find it boring. So again, in 2 years from now, I think I have to sit for all those certifications because they expire after 3 years. I'll happily do it again.
Wow, that's such an inspiring story, Dhaval. The fact that you completed everything within 2 years, I mean, that was really superb.
Before that, I spent, 2018, so that is close to 12, 13 years I spent programming and developing solutions, whether it's a Java, JavaScript. I did the mobile development, I did the backend development, I started Lambda 2015. So I had good experience, and I actually drift from one to another. Over the period of time, we all learn something new, right? And change into different roles. So I was just a developer, then I become the CTO, then I become the CEO, but I kept on learning.
A small question, like let's say after your associate examinations, the first professional examination that you took is the AWS
Solution architect
solution architect, right? So did you feel like, after, go through that examination, the other ones are like quite similar, and it's easy to like go for the other ones, like or else like you had to put a lot of effort, let's say, like you mentioned, the networking, security and all that, or like that professional exam like really set the fence. As soon as you jump over it, the others are really easy or something like that?
It's not like that. At that time also, it was not like that, and now they are changing because I am now part of the SME as well. So I actually help in the workshop. I create new questions. I recently was part of the associate developer associate, where I create a question for developer associate. So questions are changing, services are changing. So it is all. That's why they are they restructure the exam questions every 2.5 years. New questions come in, the older questions phased out, because the services are also changing, the features are also changing. Doing the pro, so pro is a difficult one. Doing the pro gives you a lot of learning and the motivation as well, that you actually completed, finished something really complicated, and you should be proud of that. But then coming to the specialty, which is an entirely different ballgame. So the data analytics or the database or the machine learning, even the Alexa, right? Alexa has no connection with AWS. Alexa is pure 80% Alexa and 20% AWS. So it requires the dedicated effort, and a pro covers the wider services in depth. Specialties cover the small number of services, but in depth. And you should have some kind of a domain as well. Previously, when I gave, it was big data, but now it has been changed to database analytics and database as well. So depending on the specialty, you have to again put the same effort. I found that some of the specialty one requires more effort, like the machine learning, which requires you to have the machine learning understanding, fundamental machine learning understanding, and not just a SageMaker or the ML services. Alexa, you have to. That was really amazing that I had created a lot of Alexa skills for my private and my other clients when Alexa launched. So that was really easy. But other than that, you have to have created Alexa skills to actually really crack the exams. So effort level is still somewhat same in between the specialty and pro levels.